that you're actually on feet, and you're actually getting shot at. You're either walking on bombs or and you're just wishing you never went there, but time flies by there, and before you're out of there,
So what year time frame? Because obviously 2001 was kind of the beginning of this next push of, the war,
well,
and it lasts all the way until, 2005, 6, where it's really heavy?
Yeah. So I was when the time that I got hurt over there, it was in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in 2010, and I was over there. I got hit by roadside bombs. I was in a vehicle though, thank God.
So you're on a patrol or on a vehicle patrol?
I was on a vehicle this time. And the 6 times that I got blown up,
Jesus,
I was in
6
a
times? You got blown up 6 times?
Yeah, it was on an armored vehicle. It's a 7-ton.
Like 6 separate times.
Cow.
Yeah. The first 5 times was 5 different times, And
oh my God!
He says it so casually.
How do you get blown up like 6 times? That's crazy.
Well, maybe I'm a cat. I have 9 lives.
Well, apparently the Marine Corps, they took advantage of that. So he ain't dead yet. Put him back on the road, right?
Yeah, well, they actually wanted to send me back, but I refused. I'm like, I'm not going back. I'm good.
How many deployments did you end up going on?
Well,
and how long were they?
Well, the first one, I went out in 2008, and that was with 2-7, and I was over there for a whole year because it was they were barely setting up over there. And then the second one was in Afghanistan. That's the one I actually got hurt, But thank God, in 2008, I didn't even get scratched, not even a single scratch.
So the first deployment, 2008, nothing happened to you?
No.
But it was so all the 6 times you got blown up were on the second deployment?
Yeah.
So it sounded like things got worse than on the
it must
second.
have been a crazy one.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Sounds like the Wild West or something going on out there.
So you had a good time, or like looking back, would you do it all over again, or?
Well, thinking about it, I actually would do it, because actually, when you're there, you actually feel like you have more of a purpose, to survive. And, I don't know, man, like over there, it's like an adventure, like you're like, okay, like that time, when we didn't have water or food, or we wanted to eat something else, we actually, we try to figure things up, like what we're going to do. Like, hey, there's the Afghan soldiers in there. They had rice, and they had something else, they have chicken or something.
Right.
I gave them a couple magazines,
Yeah.
So I gave them a couple of magazines, and then they would give me some food.
So you're bartering,
rice.
basically.
Yeah. So I kind of exchanged some food in there, and we have some rice. I started making rice and chicken, and started having tea. Instead of having tuna every day. Imagine eating tuna for like 3 months straight. That's
I'd get sick of it.
So let me ask you, what do you do over there? Because I was on an aircraft carrier, and for us, we exercise, we stand watch, we do some maintenance, but a big part of it is exercising, right? But that's on the ship, on an aircraft carrier. So, and Mick, you're a Marine as well. So what do you do with your time when you're over there? Do you play poker? Do you dominoes or work out?
Oh, well, I used to work out, but I was always so exhausted, and I never really got any really good sleep ever, actually. So what I did with my time, what did we do, man? I used to put a scorpion to fight a lizard, I used to do that.
It's the simple things, right?
I used to put a red ant with a blank ant. Let's see, what else did I used to do? I remember we used to like compete, who would catch a running chicken, if you can catch a chicken.
Oh, Jesus.
That was pretty fun, some people would spend, like entire 2 hours, trying to catch a chicken with their hands. Imagine running around with a chicken.
That's some serious boredom. Well, I have to say that so people have a better understanding. When you would go on these missions, how many hours are these missions when you would leave the wire?
Well, actually, I spent like up to 3 to 4 days, like traveling. We were going like maybe 15 miles an hour because they were searching for any mines or bombs that the Russians left there back in the 70s. So we were sweeping in there, but it's literally like 3 days straight, like we only stopped to go to the restroom and, another thing too, my vehicle did not have an air conditioner, and I had the worst vehicle too because the lights wouldn't work.
Jesus.
And so I had to turn the heater on, and the heater actually felt cool. Like seriously, that's how hot it was.
How crazy is
It
that?
is so
That is-
hot. Oh my God, it's like not even funny. It's like living in an oven. So I spent like maybe 3 or 4 days straight up, like just moving, Yeah.
Well, I got to ask you this before. It sounds like the Marine Corps put you through a lot of trouble on these deployments that you went on, especially getting blown up 6 times. So being born in Colombia, and then moving to Mexico, and finally the United States, and then joining the Marine Corps, did you at least get some citizenship out of Did you get become a citizen out of that?
Yeah, I
Marine
did.
Corps?
Actually, I did. I'm a citizen now. I'm really proud of it. At least I gave back to this country.
Yeah, you did.
That's
That's the least
absolutely.
I can do. That's the least I can do.
Well, I was gonna say, man, because I think you've probably done a lot more than a lot of other people who were born in this country. You know what I'm saying? So feel proud of that. Manny is a Purple Heart recipient. He was blown up 6 times and sustained traumatic brain injuries and had his leg blown off and then reattached.
Oh, geez. So he's as real as they get, huh?
Yeah, dude. So that's a true American hero, everybody.
Well, Manny, thank you so much for coming in on the show. We appreciate all that you've done, the service and everything. So thank you for all that you do, man.
Thank you for letting us pay a tribute to and Semper Fi, Marine.
My pleasure.
All right, we'll be right back right after the break.
I'm Adeline. And I'm Sam.
I'm Alec from Chula Vista, and the only thing I listen to is Skull and Bones Radio.
SDSU's favorite party show.
Hi, this is Jessica.
And Jordan.
We're from Poway, and we're hanging out with Skull and Bones.
Welcome back to another round of the Skull and Bones Show.
Tastes so good, make you want to slap your mama. Matter of fact, come here, mama. Right here on Skull and Bones Radio.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back to the show. We are Skull and Bones Radio.
Skull and Bones.
Our boy Matt Wahundo is on vacation. He's in New York, I think. So
Man, you know what I think he's doing?
he's having a good old time. He's not thinking about Skull and Bones Radio.
I was about to say that. I think that's exactly what he's doing. Now thinking about us.
Well, since he's gone, I'm running the board. So we miss you, Matt. We can't wait to have you back. With that said, we've got our boy Manny filling in for him. So, Manny, thank you so much for taking the time to stick around with us. We do appreciate it.
That's right.
Pleasure.
That's right, man. We get that military appreciation night going on
There
here
you
at Skull
go.
and Bones.
Oh yeah.
So Skull and Bones Radio, check us out, skullandbonesradio.com on iHeart.
And of course, all the social medias. I'm about to lose it. What is this?
Instagram.
Instagram, the Facebook,
There you
and
go.
the Twitter. There you go, Skull and Bones Radio. Hey, but real quick though, while we're still on this Manny thing, and it's kind of funny because I know you just had one here very recently here, Mr. Jean
What's
Perrion.
that? What you getting at?
Manny just turned 30 last night, man. He's a new 30.
Happy belated birthday, my friend.
Oh, thank you.
Technically, it's still his birthday in China right now, so we're good.
It's still your birthday?
Yeah.
On Chinese time, it is. That is.
Well, hey, man, I wish we had a happy birthday bed to play for you like we did for Mick, but we don't.
It's all right. You just have to accept our love.
Yeah, I'm not as quick as old Matty is with the sound bites, but happy birthday.
Well, I have to say, since Jean turned 30, he's been having all kinds of midlife crises.
I tell you, man, it's tough. I'll give you a heads up right now. It's tough being 30, man, because I think the number plays more of a head game than anything else, rather than you feel it or whatever. Just it's the number 30.
That's true.
Well, I'm still lucky because I still got 2 years till that happens for me. But so
you.
what's your take on being 30? Do you feel different? Because technically 2 days ago you were 29 and now you're 30. So I mean, do you feel a difference all of a sudden?
I actually do. I'm like, I'm 30 years old, and I realize my metabolism is slowing down. My bones hurt
Your
all
bones.
the time. Oh my! And you just see things very differently, than when you were 25 or 24.
That's a good point. Give me an example of like how maybe what you see differently, in those maybe few years of time.
Well, I mean, when I was young, I thought, like, when I was 25 or 24, and I was living with Meg, like, hey, Meg, let's do this, let's do this, let's do that. It was just like everything was, seemed so easy, And,
Yeah.
And now you actually have to think a lot more. You have
What
to
do you
think a
mean?
lot more. Yeah, you have to think about a lot more about what you're doing, what you're going to do with your life. You can't be playing around too much. You got to get serious. You got to get back to business.
That's what I'm going through right now, man. I'm
Oh,
glad you brought
man.
that up.
Or you got to figure out if you're ever going to have kids, or I don't know. Got to know what.
Let me ask you this, because I'm sure you went out, you had a good old time last night. But for me, whenever I'm 30, so whenever I go out, for me, I've got to remind myself, only stick to one drink. I drink whiskey, the good stuff, just because I don't want to deal with the hangover.
Oh God.
Oh, so you
Tell me
mean
about that.
So you mean at this point you're now more about quality and alcohol more so than quantity? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, but that's more so because of the fact I don't want to deal with the hangover for the next 2 days to waste my weekend away.
So hold on. So are you saying that cheap liquor gets you hungover and expensive liquor doesn't? Is that what you're getting at? Or
Yes.
What?
I don't know about that though. Well, I mean, well, bodies are different though. I mean, I look at John here. He looks like he's 25, 24 years old, you know. And you look at me. I just turned 30, and I look like I'm 40 instead.
Well, you probably. I mean, I'm sure you've been through some stuff that kind of made you age a little bit.
So I actually got pretty drunk yesterday. I drank like 6, shots of whiskey, mixed with Coke, but that got me pretty drunk. And I still feel hungover. When I was 25, 24 years old, I did not feel hungover. Now I still feel it, I'm like, oh God, I want to go to sleep.
I know exactly.
And
what you're
I know
about.
exactly what you're talking about. You don't want to waste your entire weekend sleeping. You actually want to go out. Mm-hmm. You want to go to the beach and hang out with the honeys, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And whenever I have that mindset, I voice that opinion that I have. People that I'm with are like, oh no, you're just being dramatic. You're talking like an old man now. But I know what I feel like come Saturday morning when I'm just miserable in bed.
I think the thing that gets me now, I know I ain't 30, so maybe I don't quite fit the topic. However, when I go out and drink and stuff like that, I know that I always end up having to have Taco Bell or something by the. So, what time the bar is closed? About 2. Last call is you about 1:45,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
About 1:45 a.m. So that means by 2 a.m. you're already out the bar, and it's like, but I can't like ever go to sleep just on an empty stomach with alcohol. I always have to hit Taco Bell or Jack in the Box before I go to bed, and that's
California Burrito
or a California Burrito. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like the burritos do worse damage to me eating them at 3 a.m. than the alcohol does. But it's like I can't go to sleep on an empty stomach with booze in my stomach.
So that's
slow metabolism.
That's
right
another
there.
thing, exactly. When we say you got the slow metabolism, I mean all that stuff adds up in one night. So you're drinking like crazy. You're hungry. You're hungover the next day. You put on a 5-pound burrito, a California burrito, as Manny likes.
I used to look like Tarzan before, and now I'm all fluffy. I think I got a daddy's body now.
That's tough, man.
The Michelin Man's body.
A daddy's body, I'm a little more soft, I'm squishy.
Well, that's what the gym's for, man. That's why God created 24-hour fitness for a reason. Don't matter if it's 3 a.m. or whatever time it is.
Oh, not only that, but you know what? Your energy goes down too. Like you're tired all the time. You're like, you get off work and you want to go to the gym. You're like, oh man, I don't want to go to the gym right now. I just want to go sleep.
Actually,
I want to go to happy hour. I want to have some tacos with Mick. Or some ribs.
Mick loves those Taco Tuesdays.
Oh, I'm all about Taco Tuesdays and Rib Thursdays and Wing Wednesdays and
brunch on Sundays.
And brunch on Sunday. All that. It sucks I don't get to go to all of them all the time. But, all right, so it sounds like you guys are telling me that I have a load of fun to look forward to when I turn 30 years old.
Well, if you're not having fun yet, wait till you hit 30.
All right, so is there anything like specifically that you guys both feel where literally the last day that you were 29 years old, you were thinking one way, and literally the next day when you turn 30, like something switched in your brain? Is there anything that comes to your mind that you're like, okay, this is it, starting this day forward, I'm going to think about this differently? Is there anything?
I'll let Manny go ahead and start at it. Do you have anything?
Well, I turned 30 yesterday, and then as soon as I turned 30, I'm just like, I'm the big 3-0. 15 years ago, I was 15 years old.
That's a weird
It's
thought.
not that bad, If you think about it that way, 15 years ago, you were 15 years old. You were still living with your parents. I'm like, okay, so it's not that bad. But, I mean, you start to realize, like, okay, especially if you're not married or anything, or you're like, okay, when do you actually... What's the right time to get married? Like, should I or shouldn't I or should I?
Mm-hmm.
Am I too old already or?
So that was literally the thought that came in your head once you turned 30.
One of the thoughts, yeah, one of the thoughts, or that came up, and where I'm actually gonna go live and retire. I mean, I know
that's what you started thinking about when you turned 30 years old. That's what. John, can you relate to that?
I can kind of understand what he's talking about, but as soon as he made that example of, 15 years ago, it was 15, it wasn't that bad. Whenever I hear that, immediately what registered in my mind is like, okay, so we're 30 now. Mm-hmm. Looking back, 30 years has seemed to, go by pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So 15 years from now, I'm going to be 45.
Yeah,
before I know it, I'm going to be dead.
Yeah.
But I'm going to look back, age 50, 60, I'm going to look back and be like, wow, my life just really flew by. When we look at it a day at a time, it's like, dang, time's just dragging by, but we're in March, 3 months have gone by of this year already.
That's true.
Time's just flying by.
What's another thing I also thought about? you know how people always complain about like, hey, I just lost money here, like I need money. Okay, here's one.